Hey everyone, ASML management seems optimistic for 2025 and beyond. The company sees 2024 as a transition year and it's preparing for 2025 in a big rebound in semiconductor industry demand. So I'm not surprised according to what I've seen from their developments, and I don't think you're going to be surprised either. So let's take a closer look at these developments and why ASML management is so optimistic about its prospects for the long term. So ASML saying that as the recovery in the semiconductor industry becomes more clear this year in 2024, customers may look to upgrade their systems in preparation for 2025. So customers are seeing recovery in demand, but it's not yet very clear. It's not very potent. It's modest. What is clear, seemingly, is the bottom is behind us. The semiconductor industry bottom, cyclically, seems to be behind us at some point in 2023. And so that recovery is apparent, although it's not very clear, it's not very strong, it's not to the point where their customers, ASML's customers, feel the need to increase their capacity investments right now. But ASML thinks that as the recovery becomes more clear, as we move forward in 2024, and it becomes more and more clear that the industry is recovering and is bouncing back, they expect them to invest in preparation for a boom in demand for 2025. So for that reason, ASML expects a stronger second half than the first half of this year. So they see 2024 as improving, with the back half of 2024 being much better than the first half of 2024 for ASML. In fact, in the first quarter, ASML expects a sequential decrease in revenue from the previous quarter. They expect quarter over quarter decrease in revenue in the first quarter of 2024, although management also said that they're giving a conservative guidance for 2024.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
Additionally, they do not expect to get export licenses for their most advanced immersion systems, NXT 2000 and up, for China in 2024. So they're not expecting that, they're not counting on that for 2024. If they do get those licenses, that would be an upside benefit, but they're not expecting that. And that's going to impact about 10 to 15% of their revenue from China. So they still have other products they are able to sell into China, just not those most advanced immersion systems. And that should impact about 10 to 15% of their revenue in China going forward. So a meaningful amount, but not a devastating amount for ASML. So it appears that they are passing through the bottom of this specific cycle and expect an industry recovery over the course of 2024. That's kind of what we talked about earlier. Based on the discussions they're having with their customers and supported by their strong backlog, they expect 2025 to be a strong year. So this is based on customers' discussions that they're having and the strong backlog in orders. In the recent quarter, they got more orders than they got in revenue, right? So there's more orders coming in for their products than they're able to send out. That's indicating that demand is growing, just like what ASML is talking about here. And then the conversations they're having with customers seems like they're ready to order even more. So they've already got a backlog of orders waiting to be fulfilled. And then on top of that, they've had discussions with customers that looks like they're going to be ordering even more. So you can understand why ASML management is optimistic about 2025 and beyond. So the secular growth drivers in semiconductor end markets, which we have previously discussed, such as energy transition, electrification, and of course the big one, artificial intelligence, are all boosting demand for ASML's technology. And the big one here is AI. In the recent 2 quarters, you've seen a surge in demand for artificial intelligence technology. Companies like NVIDIA, super microcomputer, these companies are seeing booming demand for their products, and those products are driven in part or helped in part to some degree by ASML. So those end markets that are fueling demand is going to increase demand for ASML, because it's not just those companies that will see revenue boost. Other companies will try and jump in and capitalize on that increase in demand for AI. And of course, the energy transition and electrification are ongoing tailwinds. But in the near term, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, there's going to be a much bigger boom in demand from artificial intelligence. This is like a race. It seems like companies are racing each other to see who can implement, who can develop artificial intelligence technology faster, because this artificial intelligence technology, fueled by the increasing effectiveness driven by the large language models, can have a strong competitive advantage for the companies that implement this. So that's the reason why they're jumping over themselves to get as much AI technology in as they can before their competitors develop this technology beforehand. So the industry expects to be in the middle of a cyclical upturn in 2025. So while ASML expects a strong demand for 2025, that's just going to be the middle of the cycle. There's going to be more room for that cycle to run. And they said they're going to be preparing for this significant number of new fabs that are being built across the globe, in some instances clearly supported by several government incentive plans. I mean, you've probably seen the recent videos I've done on Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel, both of which indicating that they're building new fabrication facilities. Taiwan Semiconductor especially is building new facilities in Japan, in Europe, and in the United States, all expanding in its current locations in Taiwan. So all of that industry level increase in capacity is going to be beneficial for ASML, which is investing to prepare for that boom in increasing of number of new fabs. And so the company is saying that it's essential that they keep their focus on the future and build capacity in preparation. And that's something I've liked with ASML. Their research and development expense as a percentage of sales is in the double digits. That's really high, and that indicates that ASML is committed to being on the cutting edge of this technology. They don't want to be left behind, and they don't want competitors to even sniff at catching up. They want to be so far ahead that they continue to generate strong demand for their products, strong backlog for their products, and pricing power, right? They're generating over 50% gross profit margin because they can charge the prices, the premium prices that generates those profit margins, and they even expect those profit margins to increase over the next few years to 55% from 50%. So all in all, I can understand why ASML is optimistic about its future, and given these industry forecasts and these industry indicators, it's reasonable to assume that ASML has excellent prospects going forward.